Welcome to Newton Athletic Park in Surrey, BC, on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples. You're watching the Junior British Columbia Ultimate Championships. This live stream is presented by Vancouver Ultimate. Now, joined by Jonah Liash once again. My name is Jagraj Laldi. This is the open semi-final of the 2025 BC Ultimate Championships, as we will have the Team Canyon taking on the Wild. Jonah, this was like I said, it's been a back and forth morning. The first game was not necessarily as close in the open quarterfinal. Our last game, the women's quarterfinal, it came down to literally the last point. And now we have this matchup between the Wild and Canyon. What sort of a matchup can we expect?
So Canyon, coming from the North Shore of Vancouver, they are considered one of the tournament favorites. This program is relatively new compared to some of the other programs in the BC Ultimate scene, but they are here to play. They've got a couple of really good players. The Bernardi twins, coming from Handsworth Secondary, are a powerful handling duo, and expect to see a lot from them. On the other side, we've got Wild, hailing from Grand Forks, an even younger Ultimate program, who made a huge run at BC High School Provincials to a second-place AA finish. The Wild defeated Vortex fairly handily, 13-5 in their last bout, and from what I understand, are nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, in this matchup, as we'll see our players to watch. Now for the Canyon, we had a chance to talk to the coaching staff earlier on for Canyon, and they really told us that number 34, James Ford Kelsey, will be the player to watch for Team Canyon early on today, as the first pull of the game is off and underway, and Canyon will be receiving, so they will begin here.
Yeah, looks like the pull went out of bounds. Number 7, starting with the disc, and Wild setting up in a person defense.
Eddie Zhao sends that to Zachary Bernardi. Bernardi goes to the end zone. It's caught. And Devin O'Reilly opens the scoring early in this one. Canyon's up 1-0.
That's about as clean of a starting point as you can get. Walk the disc into the middle of the field. Big under towards the sideline. Turn, shoot, score. Super simple, super clinical.
All right, off of the pull. No time wasted here by Canyon at all. An incredible start for the team from North Vancouver.
Yeah, one thing about Canyon, they have quite a few players who can huck it, and they have even more players who can bring them down. This is a tall team. A lot of big guys, hockey players, lacrosse players, basketball players out there, and they're not going to be afraid to shoot. When you see one of your big men striking deep, put it up.
So now if you're Wild, it's going to be interesting to see how they tend to respond here, considering the fact that they find themselves in an early 1-0 game.
Yeah, the Wild, a younger team, definitely, but have shown that they have what it takes to hang with some of the more perennial programs in BC. We'll see. These first couple points are pretty important for setting the tone. If the Wild can fire back, have a clean hold of their own, I think they might be in a good place. But if they're, come out firing a little bit slow, that's when a team like Canyon latches on and could get out of hand really quickly.
So we'll see the pull here, as the Wild will be receiving with their first chance to get some work done on the offensive front of things. And of course, keep in mind that this Canyon team from North Vancouver, as you made mention, Jonah, they're a very tall team. But the question is, who will live up to the tall task of getting a win and booking their ticket to the final?
Absolutely. Canyon coming down in their own match defense, person to person, nothing too tricky. Yeah. It looks like they're forcing middle, which is trying to force everything into the center of the field, make it hard for Wild to shoot deep.
Matheson tried to complete the catch there to Gabriel Russell, and that was thrown down by Canyon, so Canyon forces yet another turnover, and they'll get a chance to capitalize here on the break. And so here is Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly tries to get the pass through, and it's intercepted here by the Wild. Going back down, Benson Moss goes for the long huck. Hamak, he gets it, and it's complete. As able to get through there was Brody Tresnich. So Trenich drops it back to Villain Matheson. Matheson is right at the end zone, instead drops it back here. This one's to Tristan Orser. Orser Orser drops it back, now goes right down the middle. Here's Villain Matheson. Matheson goes to the end zone, and we have a score. Benson Moss has tied the game at 1.
Looks like there's a call on the field.
But there is a call. Yes, that's going to be overturned. So Benson Moss has it right at the line, throws it in, and that's incomplete. So all in all, the Wild do not end up scoring. It's still 1-0.
That's surprised. That from up here, it looked like it was certainly in, but maybe his foot stepped on the line.
So Canyon will now look to respond as they go and send a long backhanded pass. It ends up going through. This one is dropped back to Gabriel Russell. Russell has it. It's caught now right in between as Canyon has it. Here is Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly goes to his left, and the pass sent right through here to Finley Gray. Gray has it back. He'll go to James Haywood. Haywood now out to the far side. Here is James Haywood. Haywood tries for a long pass back down the other way. It's going to the end zone. The huck is incomplete.
That's unfortunate. Fading over his head. Thought he could just get up and catch it with his left hand. Ends up swatting it away instead. Wild with another chance. Their third of the point to punch it in.
Yeah, so very much the Wild will have possession here as they'll go and establish the pivot foot. But the Wild now get a chance to respond as Tao Karomi, I should say, has it. He'll drop it back to Villain Matheson. Matheson looking for options as Villain Matheson sends this one to his left wing to Tristan Orser. Orser has it in front. He'll look for an opening. Orser drops it right down the middle. And again, the drop pass for the Wild works to succession. As the Wild still continuing up with possession of the disc. It's now out at the near side to Villain Matheson. Matheson drops this one back to Tao Karomi. Karomi has it, but I think...
stoppage in play. There is a pick, but we're back into it now.
Yeah, Karomi has this one. He'll go for a forehand, and that gets through. Here's Tristan Orser. Orser has it back at the right side. A two-handed clap catch is complete. Quick passes here from the Wild. They almost turned it over, but it's still with Tao Karomi. He'll send it to his right side. Here's Villain Matheson. Matheson has it now to Gabriel Russell. Russell, great block there, but they're still able to get it. Villain Matheson for the Wild.
That was an incredible layout block. Gets his hand on it, but pops it up into the wind.
Yeah,
good on him to hop back onto his feet and get there for it.
Oh, great clap catch attempt there for the Wild, but that was unfortunately unable to go through.
Yeah, Canyon's defense doing a really good job not letting Wild get these break shots very easily, forcing them to throw a lot of small throws and not gain big yards at a time.
A long huck back down the other way, and that is incomplete. As a great defensive hustle there by Gabriel Russell of the Wild.
That was not an easy block. Trailing edge, looking over his shoulder, gets up and swats it away.
Tao Karomi will send it far. It ends up back here with Villain Matheson. Matheson now sends it down the middle to Tristan Orser. Orser has this one back. He'll drop it right down the middle, and this is incomplete as Canyon is able to block it down.
That's a lot of these turnovers that are kind of just popping through the players' hands. We've seen it pop up into the air, get recovered, but got to dial in these fundamentals, throw and catch.
Yeah, Canyon will elect for a long pass down the other way, and that's blocked in the end zone. Almost a catch attempt, but the long pass there from Canyon, rather the huck, is incomplete.
Yeah, foul called on the throw. Great awareness from number 99, poaching off the back of that stack, getting in there. Looks like the players are unsure of where they should go to restart play, but they get back into it.
So Canyon has this one back as James Ford Kelsey, our player to watch, will drop it to Zachary Bernardi. Bernardi, there you see Ford Kelsey. His hustle completes the cap catch. Back to Bernardi at the end zone, and that's a score as the two-man game works off for James Ford Kelsey and Zachary Bernardi.
Yeah, Canyon, just a little push pass and then floats it into space up the line. That is a great little 1-2 for the completion, and not much to be done from the defense. Once they got that momentum going forward, they kept it going right to the very end.
So 2-0 here so far, Jonah. It's been an interesting start to this game, whereas the Wild have gotten chances, but Canyon's the one that's capitalized on the chances.
Yeah, Canyon on that first point, they look so clean, so poised. They were using the space really well. Wild has felt kind of gummed up, as if they're trying to force it into the middle. The Canyon defense is kind of pushing them into each other, and they're cutting each other off. I think the Wild need to slow it down, swing the disc, wait for those options to open up, and make sure they're clearing space for each other. That's the big thing that's kind of keeping their offense from clicking.
And on a day like this where the weather is only going to continue to warm up, as a player out on the field, how do you keep yourself fully energized on a day as hot as this?
Yeah, one thing I've seen a lot of teams do, they'll have coolers on the sideline full of ice. You'll have some neck towels or some metal rods that you can get your hands on, anything to keep your body temperature low. And it's just about getting shade. You can see both teams have tents on the sideline, getting out of the sun whenever you're not on the field, sitting down, making sure you're ready when your name gets called to go on the line. Goes a long way, especially for these teams like the Wild, who don't have so many players. They're kind of a shorter roster, and if you're playing 2, 3, 4 points in a row, this heat is going to get to you in a hurry.
Well, the biggest thing is to stay ready and stay hydrated.
Yeah, I should have mentioned getting hydrated. That's a big one. Drinking water, drinking Gatorade.
And so we'll see the pull here as Canyon's able to throw this one all the way to the other end of the field. And the Wild will begin play from their own end zone. Here's Villain Matheson.
Oh, that is a centering pass a little bit too high.
Yeah, that was too high, so it's a turnover here near the end zone and a chance for a break point for Canyon. Ball's in the end zone, and it's caught. The break point is successful, and Canyon has quickly made this a 3-0 game.
It's kind of what we were talking about earlier. Wild has several chances on their first offensive point to punch it in and keep the game 1-1, but they were a little scrappy, a little unsure of themselves, had a couple execution errors, and it's kind of bled into that last point where just a centering pass a little bit too high pops up. Maybe it's windy out there, but you can't be turning it over on your own end zone line. It's something that down the stretch is really going to get into their heads. They're going to get scared to throw the disc when it's near their own end zone, and can really affect their mojo, their momentum.
Yeah, I believe that was Brody Trinish who was able to make it 3-0. This gives us a chance for the first time this game to tell you about VC Ultimate. VC Ultimate is Vancouver's ultimate preferred apparel provider. VC Ultimate has been producing the world's best ultimate apparel since 1998 locally in Canada, featuring recycled materials and gender-free fits. VC puts quality and community first. Find high-quality apparel, discs, and accessories for yourself or equip your team with custom gear at vcultimate.com.
Yeah, we do love VC Ultimate. Their jerseys are nice. I think some of the best-fitting jerseys in Frisbee right now.
Oh, I gotta say, this Wild team, they do have one of the more clean jerseys I've seen, and I think that extends across to any sport, not just Ultimate.
One of the jerseys of all time.
Villain Matheson.
Okay, so this is the zone look that Canyon's coming down with. It's sort of like that arrowhead we saw in the men's quarterfinals. Some people call it the Cal zone, but it's essentially one marker in the middle with two on the wings, backing up behind them, trying to force those over the tops like we just saw there into the middle, and it ends up causing a turnover.
Yeah, so Canyon will have this one. Tatsuro Taguchi. Taguchi has it right at the line. He'll drop it back to Samson Wilton Gary to Taguchi. Taguchi watched closely by his marker. The marker continuing to count. A bit of a low pass is intercepted. Turnover here as the Wild will take back possession. Tao Karomi. Karomi goes for the forehand and gets the throw through. Here is Tristan Orser. Orser playing the give-and-go game here with Tao Karomi. Or check that, that was Villain Matheson. Matheson uses his pivot foot, gets it back here to Tao Karomi. Karomi now being watched by Max Lee. As Karomi gets the pass through, it ends up with Orser. At the near side, he'll drop in and send it forward to Brody Trinish. Trinish going near the end zone, but it's picked up here still with Trinish. Trinish now sends that one forward as it's sent through the end zone, and we have a good score. And this one's going to go to number 99, Villain Matheson, who's able to get the Wild on the board.
Wild with a great end zone there. Kind of high stall count, front of the stack, comes under, gets it towards the sideline, and then a floaty outside in backhand for the score. Pretty simple, but effective.
Very much, and this gives us a chance to tell you about our friends at Friction Gloves. Friction Gloves are passionate about Ultimate and providing players with the gears they need to play their best. Their gloves are designed to improve your throws and catches no matter the weather conditions. Get Friction Gloves to improve your game at frictiongloves.com.
So one thing we've seen a lot of in these past couple bracket play games is defense plays a big role in getting teams ahead. If you're on defense and you can get a short field turn, whether it's with your zone or just hard person defense, and you get it somewhere near your opponent's end zone, big possibility to get breaks multiple points in a row. There's a lot of pressure on the offense to kind of work it down and be clean, but if they make a mistake near their own end zone, could be trouble down the stretch. So I think this is a good opportunity for Wild to get another one back on Canyon.
And so we see the Canyon coaching staff talking strategy over. Of course, the Canyon coaching staff consists of head coach Blake Merlees, assistant coach Mark Perriman, and assistant coach our very own Shahan Oshideri of the Canyon team, playing out of North Vancouver.
Yeah, played against Blake in high school, Sutherland alum. All around great guy.
And so here is the pull. Canyon will get this one back, and you'll see them trying to move the disc forward as Nathan Chan sends that one forward and ends up here with James Ford Kelsey. Ford Kelsey has it. He completes the backhanded throw forward. Eddie Zhao picks it up. Zhao pivots. Now collects it to the near side to Devin O'Reilly. As O'Reilly goes a bit low there for the forehand throw. Nice give and go. Eddie Zhao. Zhao has it back. Throws it to the end zone. What a layout. And what a score for Canyon. Incredible.
Yeah, that was a pair of really, really good throws earlier in the point. It's a lefty inside flick, righty flick there. And that is a visionary shot to step out, throw the inside, walk-off goal.
What a layout.
Yeah, that was sweet. Momentum carried him into the end zone.
So it's now 4-1 here for Canyon. As, well, if you're Canyon at this point, you have a 3-goal lead, or a 3-score lead. But with that being said, we saw in that first game, it was 7-0 after one half, and the other team did very much find a way to create something out of a game that seemed lost. So we can't call anything off just yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't say 3 points is enough of a lead that they can start putting on their bench. I think they're going to be riding their top 9, top 10 players maybe to the end. We're getting to the tail end of bracket play. You want to get this game over with as quick as possible if you're Canyon. Keep your foot on the pedal.
Obviously, the open final is going to go down at 3 o'clock, and then our last game of the day is going to be the women's final, which I'm telling you, I saw the women's quarterfinal here today, and just the energy that the crowd had, the energy that the players had, it was decided at the end. It was decided by a game-winning point. I am very excited for the rest of this day and bracket play for the rest of this day. Yeah,
I agree. I think the projected finals for each division, Dino, Canyon, and then probably Dino, Canyon on both sides. A lot of drama, high drama. Misfit Cup was a couple weeks ago, and these teams were giving it their all there. Canyon women ended up winning the whole thing on their side. So excited to see for the rest of the tournament, but bringing us back to this game, Canyon putting up the pole, Wild fielding. We'll see if they can get a hold.
Oh, here is the pull. A long throw, lots of power into that one, and it'll slowly just make its way down where the coach just leaves it down for the Wild.
Yeah, good hands on Shahan. Great job bringing that one down.
Yeah, good vision by Shahan there as well. Knew it was exactly coming his way. So the Wild will take this one, and it's going to be Villa and Matheson.
Yeah, the Wild setting up incredibly deep. You can't even see their vert stack on the screen right now. Not really sure what the goal with their positioning was, but they end up finding a floaty disc.
Here's Brody Trinish to Matheson. That was a drop pass there from Trinish to Matheson. Matheson has it. He'll drop it back here to Tao Karomi. Gets it back at the right side. Tao Karomi will drop this one back. Here is Tristan Orser. Orser goes to his forehand, settles that one down to Neil Matheson. Matheson unable to get it to go. It ends up right down the middle here to Tristan Orser. Orser will try and drop it forward. Here is the Wild as they continue to move up. Tristan Orser has it. The marker is counting, so Orser has to get a pass through, and he does. Gets it through here as it's now with number 9, Tao Karomi. Karomi, another forehand throw, and is complete to Gabriel Russell. Russell watched closely. Good movement here by the Wild as they're setting up. There's an overhand, a chance in the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Wow. They were playing so patiently that entire point, moving the disc, little pop passes, getting it up inch by inch, and then getting a little bit antsy towards the end zone, puts up a big floaty hammer, and that's a tough throw in that position. End zone is where nerves are tested, and to put something up like that, a little bit of a sketchy throw, coaches can't be happy.
No, not at all. And I mean, very much as Canyon now has a chance to respond here on the break. As the pivot moving left and right is Nate Bernardi. Bernardi goes for a forehand. Smart pass there to Zach Bernardi as he'll race it through. Here's a chance for Finley Gray, who catches it with the one hand in the end zone. There's a score, and Canyon's up 5-1.
Canyon doing such a good job on this huck in motion.
What a huck.
Yeah, defender did a great job peeling off the back, coming to help, but the throw is just perfect. Head high all the way right into the Cutter's breadbasket.
Oh, and what seemed like a pretty close game to start our proceedings here today. Canyon is really taking control and taking lead here, and in the case of the Wild, though, I gotta say, Jonah, it's not due to the lack of trying.
Not at all. The Wild have done a great job working the disc up. It's just that extra 5%, that lack of focus, that kind of desire to score. I want to score now. I want to score now. It's hard. It's hard when you're a young team like the Wild, coming up against a team of veterans like Canyon, where you need to be perfect down the entire stretch. And so far, it looks like the nerves are getting to them a little bit. I think we have a timeout here, so hopefully the coaches can rally the troops and figure out what they need to figure out.
Well, after that score, we can tell you about the London Pub. The London Pub is Main Street's best venue for sports, bar games, and gathering with your team. See their menu and location at londonpubvan.com.
Something funny about having a pub sponsor at a tournament for minors.
Oh, we do very much appreciate all of our sponsors for helping support BC Ultimate, and especially this tournament that I know it's a growing tournament year by year. The sport of Ultimate continues to take off, and it's a privilege to be a part in helping bring this sport a lot of coverage, because this is a sport that seldom gets broadcast coverage as is. So to be able to play a part in helping bring this coverage to light, it's definitely a privilege.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to see teams from all sorts of places, like we mentioned. Wild from Grand Forks. If you gave me a map of BC, I would not be able to point Grand Forks on a map to you. But they have a small, dedicated group of Ultimate players there, players who played adult club in the past and have kind of passed it on to their kids and their kids' friends, and have grown a program that is making it to the semis of the provincial finals.
Well, I think from what I know personally, I think Grand Forks is actually up in the interior area somewhere. It's a city which is about near Trail, so in the Kootenays. So
Gotcha.
somewhere up there is Grand Forks. I think by flight it would take you about an hour ish by flight. So in car math, I think probably yeah, would be quite the trip up there.
Yeah, big trip down. I'm sure they're having a lot of fun hanging out, staying at the hotel. One of my favorite thing about Ultimate tournaments is that whole travel aspect. You get to go to a new city with your friends. You guys are locked into playing Ultimate all weekend. You're hanging out, all sorts of shenanigans. It's a good time. And the car ride itself is one of my favorite memories, playing in high school, playing in college, and playing club as an adult. So these kids are having fun, but they got to lock in.
So here is the pull as the Wild will receive. And this is a long throw. It ends up back just outside of their end zone. So, almost an interception there as the Wild having to be real careful. It's picked up by Tristan Orser. And Orser was calling for the drop pass. However, it gets through here to Aiden, or check that was number 13, I believe, Brody Trinesh. So we have a turnover here forced, and Canyon's going to be getting the disc.
Yeah, another short field turnover. These are the killers in this game because now it's 15, 20 yards that Canyon has to work it up. And with the patience they've had all game.
And Wilton Gary sends it near side, and that's caught. Here's Turo Calawart. Calawart has it back. The marker is right up there on him. They'll drop the pass back. A bit of a forehand throw. That's incomplete.
All right, Wild with another chance here. Let's see if they can get some yards quickly because all this dinking it back and forth has been not yielding the best results.
Yeah, Finley Gray and Nathan Cam tried a 1-2 punch there for Canyon, just unable to get it to go. So the Wild will pick up possession as this one is out to Gabriel Russell. Russell dropped it back, and a turnover here forced by Canyon. Great hands there by number 3, Lucas Legal.
Yeah, Lucas Legal has been playing good all game. Heads up defender, looking over his shoulder, seeing if the disc is coming up, and right there gets the block right on the sideline.
Finley Gray has it. He'll throw it to the forehand. Almost bobbled there by Corbin Young. However, he's able to get it through. Young drops it back to Finley Gray. Gray tried to send it forward, and we have a turnover here. Wild will take the disc back.
Yeah, third time's the charm. Picking up here.
So can Wild get it out to the long field? But as we've seen, the Canyon have forced short field turnovers multiple instances in the game.
Yeah, the Wild, every time they get the disc, they look upfield, and their cutters are kind of just standing still. Not much motion, and forces them to throw a dump, throw it, dink it back and forth, and not really gaining yards as efficiently as they could be.
Dylan Matheson, that one's dropped back to Benson Moss. Here is Dylan Matheson. Matheson trying to go over, and that one's back here with Tristan Orser. Orser, he still goes forward as you see quick movement here by the Wild as they're able to get down to the other side of the field. It's Gabriel Russell. Russell sends it right down the middle, and using the pivot foot now, we're the Wild. Here is Tristan Orser. Orser has the disc, and I think something was going on.
Yeah, it might be a pick call.
A pick call, I believe. But, well, I know when teams do often call these picks, especially in a self-officiated game, they often come to a resolution, and if they can't come to a resolution, then they just simply replay the point.
Yeah, this goes back. Any call can be contested by the other team, so it's incumbent on them to play with spirit, play with sportsmanship, and make sure the calls are resolved in an amicable manner.
So there's still a bit of a dispute going on here.
Yeah, so number 10 in white, there was a foul called on him when the play started, which would, I believe, reset the stall count to 8 to 0 if it's not contested, to 8 if it is contested. He's calling a push off, which is a foul, while number 3 is calling a stall down. So we'll see how this resolves. A lot of moving parts here.
Yeah, lots to kind of be aware of. To your point, Jonah, that I think it's gonna continue on here as the count is on, and the Wild will take possession.
Yeah, violation. Players started moving before the disc was tapped in, so everyone has to go back to their spots, and now we're tapped in.
There we go. Tristan Orser has it. He'll play it in, but immediately a turnover as Canyon will take the ball there, or the disc, I should say. They're wasting no time here moving it. Taziro Taguchi, but sometimes, hey, slow and steady does win the race, and there they were a bit too fast.
Yeah, there were 3 Canyon players in the deep space, and the disc got thrown in the middle of all of them.
And so the disc will now go back with Tristan Orser. We'll see the Wild take the disc up. It ends up here with Orser, and you'll see the Wild kind of just slow it down. And again, I think we see a player limping down here, just not being able to put much pressure on the left side of his leg.
Yeah, it looked like on that collision earlier when the disc got floated up. Yeah, he was on the ground. We'll see it here. Yeah, disc gets flipped up. He kind of
As you can see,
rolls
right there.
over on
Oh,
it. Yeah, a little painful.
just a bit of a stinger, I'd assume.
Yeah, usually when that happens, players will call injury and play will stop immediately, but he decided to thug it out, and they end up getting the disc back.
Seville Matheson will have this one as he's watched closely by his marker. Matheson, great hand there, but it still gets through to Brady Trinish.
I can't believe he held on to that. That was awesome.
Very much. A great hand there by the Canyon player, though, I will say. As here is number 99, Villain Matheson of the Wild.
Pick
Matheson,
call.
yeah, a pick was called there, so Tristan Orser will take the disc.
All right, everyone gets to catch up. Make sure we agree on the starting positions, and the disc is back in.
There's Orser, tried a bit of a low shot, and that is blocked.
Oof. Big collision.
Big collision there as well. Luckily, everyone seems to be okay. Nate Bernardi gets this one back. He'll send it through to Taguchi. As Tatsuro Taguchi is able to get the pass through, it ends up here with Lucas Legal.
Lucas Legal doing a good job doing some air traffic controlling, pointing where he wants his teammate to go.
Finley Gray has it. Gray now to Taguchi. Tatsuro Taguchi elects for the drop pass instead, gets it to Finley Gray. Gray goes to the forehand, gets it through to Nate Bernardi. Bernardi has this one. He's looking for options. Watched by his marker. Gets the pass through to the left side. As this one is through to Finley Gray. Gray looking for a drop, or perhaps he's looking to just get it across. Gets it through to the end zone. Smart pass. And Canyon strikes again. But what IQ there by Finley Gray. Do we have a foul
I think
call?
we have a call. Not sure what the call is. Maybe not in. Not in call.
Oh, it was not in. So they'll keep it in, and I guess that's in now.
I think that's a turnover.
Or is it a turnover?
Yeah, he was out of bounds, and even if it looked like he didn't have control, and even if he did, he was on the ground.
No, it's a score.
It's a goal.
It's a score.
We got to see the replay on this one.
Oh, yeah, very much. I think there was a bit of a deflection there, but yes, it is going to be a score.
Okay, yeah, he gets his foot down.
I think
In
because
bounds.
he got his one foot down in bounds before before he fully stepped out of bounds, that prompts it to be a good score.
Yeah, that is impressive that he managed to salvage that one. I thought that was a turnover for sure. But Canyon jam it up the jam hole right to that front cone and walk away with the score.
So Finley Gray is able to make it 6-1 here for Canyon, as you'll see the replay once again. Just great leg work there by Finley Gray, Joan. As you can see, his left
Goodness.
yeah, his left leg stayed in bounds the entire time. So with that,
Yeah, skid marks on the turf. Great body control. That's the kind of awareness that these top-end players have. You know, they can make a situation that other players might make a mistake and they wouldn't have the wherewithal to keep that foot down, to make the catch while doing it. These top-end players, they can do it all.
yeah, very much so. It's now a 6-1 game in favor of Canyon. And, of course, when it comes to the 7-point margin, we end up getting to what we call a timeout or a halftime. But in the first two games, we've seen that halftime has not really been a factor because the teams have decided to keep on playing.
Yeah, I think these players want to just keep the momentum going. They don't want to be standing around in the sun or sitting down. They want to keep the legs warm, and electing to skip halftime in favor of continuing the game is, hey, I'm fine with it. If we get to see more Ultimate, who's going to complain?
I'm not going to be one to complain either. I'll agree with you on that. So we'll see the poll being thrown here as Canyon will
Wild
send one down.
looks like they only have 6 players on the field, which is not enough.
unusual. They have
Yeah.
to get out,
Oh, wait. Did they have a hand? No. It looked like they were about to pull it. There we go. Yeah,
there we go.
as we mentioned, this Wild team, short roster. I think they have, 12, 13 players total. And so sometimes after a marathon point like that, you come off and you're so exhausted you don't even realize your coach is calling you on.
And I mean, another thing is, yes, you like you said, it's been a road trip for this Wild team too. Seeing how far they are.
Yeah, all that travel time coming in, playing all day yesterday. Fatigue does start to take its toll, and it's showing here in the semifinals.
So Tristan Orser will have this one back as he will look to find an opening as well. It ends up right down and through, getting it to James Ford Kelsey, as you see Canyon now with possession to Tegushi.
Ford Kelsey faking with this little lefty backhand and then stepping over on the right. Oh, keeps it up.
Oh, wow, what a play there, as it ends up with Tegushi. Tegushi will drop it back now to his near side.
Yeah, pick called on the play, I think valid. On the little give and go, number 14 ran into Teguchi and impeded his ability to put the mark on, so.
Yeah, it did seem like a pick being called, so.
Okay, we're back in.
No question about it. Here's James Ford Kelsey.
Yeah, Ford Kelsey has this nice step over backhand. Really good at moving the disc quickly, putting out into open space.
O'Reilly has this one back. He'll drop it back to Zachary Bernardi. Bernardi now to Devin O'Reilly. Lateral pass gets through up top, and now they'll swing it to the end zone.
Ooh.
Trying for the layout there was number 34, James Ford Kelsey, but it's incomplete.
Ford Kelsey, excellent timing on that continuation. Look for the break backhand. Bids and gets a hand on it, but it's just a little bit too low and a little bit too far away.
So with that, we are now still at a 6-1 score here for Canyon, as Wild will regain possession. They'll go for a bit of a four-handed throw, and that ends up through getting to Lincoln Vanderkoog, as the ball ends up back now to the near side with Benson Moss.
I think that's the second time Bernardi has had one pop up on him and managed to recover.
Yeah, Zach Bernardi gets it back. He throws it now to the end zone, and Canyon is able to get that elusive 7th point, and they're now up 7-1.
Well, this has been a good game from Canyon thus far. Their O-line is chugging along. Their D-line is smothering Wild, and it looks like they're going to make their way to the finals. You know, can't count anyone out, but the way it's looking right now, this is a BC championship contending team. And it looks like these teams have also elected not to take a timed half, and Wild are already putting 7 on the line.
Yeah, the Wild are just ready to go, so they'll continue this one out. And it's been a running theme for a lot of our games today. But as we still shall, I will read out our to our partners. Like I was saying, gives us a chance to talk about our summer day camps. But get your kids started in Ultimate with Vancouver's Ultimate Summer Day Camps for ages 8 to 14. Day camps run weekly. And till the end of the month, register now at vul.ca.
Yeah. Looks like we are taking a half, so we'll go through some replays. Little backhand pop pass, not quite completed. And yeah, it's just Wild kind of throwing these shots into contested spaces or just releasing them a little bit too low, throwing them into the ground. And Canyon a little bit more. Ooh, yeah, I had to save that one. But Canyon just a little bit cleaner down the stretch, a little bit more consistent with their execution, especially on the throwing end, putting it right into the space where their cutters can run onto it and have no worries about a defender snacking on it.
Yeah, very much. So the pass is, or as we see, it's a 7-1 game as we speak, and for these teams, like you said, Canyon looks well on its way to punching their ticket now to the final, but anything can still happen, as we've seen in the sport of Ultimate and across various different sports before. Comebacks are always an option.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing to also note is that this isn't the last tournament of the year. This is provincials. These teams still have nationals coming in about a month's time, and so both of these teams have qualified. So losing here, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, you want to fight to the end of the tournament, but it's not like the end of their season if they do lose.
Yeah, very much. So we shall resume play here as the disc will come flying out to the center of the field, but we'll still have to wait for the pull. As you see, they'll now switch sides. And I don't think the Wild realized that.
Yeah, I saw a couple Wild players look exasperated. Oh, I got to walk to the other side now. But
especially with how hot it is already out there.
Yeah. And knowing that they have a full point of running, I don't envy these players. That turf gets really hot in the summer. I've played here many times before, and if you're walking around in black cleats, the AstroTurf just cooks your feet.
Oh, that does make the two of us.
Yeah.
I will tell you that being out there in the hot weather, it's not for the fate of the fate of heart.
Not at all. But
so with it being a 7-1 game, Jonah, what can we expect with this second half that's coming up?
I think Canyon, they don't need to generate any more pressure than they already are to get turnovers. And so I think we'll probably see some zone, some more junky looks where they're kind of playing more passive, forcing Wild to swing it back and forth, and let them make the mistakes. It's a common theme that we'll see. The more throws that a team has to throw, the more likely they are to turn the disc over. And Canyon just have to maintain. They don't need to do anything differently. They just have to keep playing their game. Wild, on the other hand, they have to figure out how to get their cutters involved in the play. They're doing a good job dinking it back and forth between their handlers, but when it comes time to look upfield and gain some meaningful yards, they're kind of shying away from it. They aren't stepping out and throwing the break shots. They aren't looking to hit the unders, and there's a disconnect between their back line and their front line guys. So we'll see if they can figure out a way to bridge that gap.
So there was the pull, and the Wild now have possession of the disc as they'll look to set something up and perhaps turn their story around here this second half. We saw that in our opening game of the day, that it was a tale of two halves where one team dominated the first half and the other team was winning the half statistically, but were unable to complete the comeback, and we have a turnover here right now, but
yeah,
a foul perhaps called.
Fair foul. One thing I really like about this Canyon defense, there's a beautiful scoober to the middle of the field, and instead of chasing to get to the disc, the entirety of the Canyon Cup, those three players, number 13, 9, and 4, sagged off to kind of contain, make sure there was no continuation before getting the mark on. Something you'll see a lot. When the disc swings, they'll back off a little bit and give them space so that the swings across the field are okay. They're just defending the upfield space.
So the disc is now still in the hands of the Wild. Dylan Matheson will have this one as Matheson just goes for an overhand, and it is caught. Clap catch is complete for Lyndon Vanderkog. It's now here with number 13, Brady Trinesh. As Trinesh is cutting up ahead, you see the handler, Dylan Matheson, here back for this one. Matheson goes forehand, and that is incomplete. Turnover. Canyon will take the disc.
Yeah, just not many reset options there. The reset handler kind of hanging out in the space, not clearing, and makes it hard for anything to get going.
So Canyon will take the disc now as a forehand. The layout attempt is incomplete. Wild get it right back. Here's Dylan Matheson. Matheson gets the pass through. Two-hand collection by Brady Trinesh to Matheson. Back to number 24, Cohen Moss. Moss sends his pass through. That is complete. It's now right here with Brody Trinesh. Drop passes through for Dylan Matheson. Matheson to the end zone, right at the line, as the Wild still haven't completely gotten it in. The give and go is complete, and another score here for the Wild. Brody Trinesh is able to make it 7-2.
Yeah, Matheson showing just how dangerous he is in these tight spaces. Going every other, getting the disc back, popping it in for the score. When Matheson is able to move around freely and get these little passes with momentum, he's doing a great job distributing. And when those cutters are in motion, he's finding the smallest windows to exploit and hit.
And so now Canyon is up by 5 as opposed to up by 6. And like I said, we saw this with our previous game here that you and I called together, the open quarterfinal. One team scored less in the first half, more in the second half, but even then they weren't able to get the win.
Yeah, 7-2, the most dangerous lead in Frisbee, allegedly. I think Wild, they have a chance here. If they can get some stops, if their defense can really put some pressure on Canyon's top-line guys like number 34, James Ford-Kelsey, and the Bernardi twins, if they can lock them up and force Canyon to have to run their offense through some of their secondary and tertiary options, they could have a chance to get some short field breaks and maybe fight their way back into this game.
All we shall see as before we do resume play, we should tell you about our friends at the London Pub. The London Pub is Main Street's best venue for sports, bar games, and gathering with your team. See their menu and location at londonpubvan.com.
I was at the London Pub a couple weeks ago. They got pool. They got Jaeger bombs. Big fan. If you're member of the VUL, highly recommend you check it out after your games on those weekday nights when you're feeling extra thirsty. Back to the game. Both teams ready for the pull.
Yeah, so we shall see here the Wild with the pull, and receiving it will be Canyon. They're now somehow able to get it back. Here is Nathan Chan. Chan throws this one forward to Eddie Zhao. Zhao, oh, what a fake by Zhao. He sent his man flying.
He was in the air for like 3 seconds. He just hovered there. That was wild.
He sent the marker absolutely flying. And if you're trying to picture this and if you're listening to it, it was like when Bobby Orr flew after scoring that big goal with Boston back in the day. Yes.
Classic.
So now you see the Wild continue on with it. What a catch falling down there by Benson Moss. As we'll see the throw here now to the right side. It's Tristan Orser. Orser has it. The marker is counting away. Orser, smart pass to the left side, but it seems like that Canyon had counted the shot clock. Or they had the pass.
Stalled down, perhaps.
Count. Sorry.
Wild, noticeably absent from this handler core, Dylan Matheson, who has really been the player on that line, on the sideline resting. And, we'll see what the second string of handlers can do for this Wild team.
Here's Tristan Orser.
Yeah, called with a travel called, so Disco's back.
So it now ends up still here with the Wild as Tristan Orser has it. Orser, that's intercepted. Canyon with the interception.
Ooh.
Here's Nathan Chan.
There's a foul called on that. I don't know. Maybe there was a little bit of pushing, but
there might have been slight, maybe marginal contact there. But
yeah, it looked like the Canyon defender had that inside lane sealed out. That looked to me pretty clean, but goes back.
Here's Gabriel Russell.
Oh, maybe a little revenge there. A little poke in the ribs, a little push him down. Just kidding.
Yeah, very much. So now we shall see the Wild still continuing with the disc here as play will resume.
Nice
forehand
under.
Throw. Yes, great underhook there, under throw. As we see the disc now in the hands of Neil Matheson. Matheson drops it back here to Tristan Orser. And now
there's a pit called on the field. This is the part of the game I love. When the calls start coming out, the plays stop in every 2 throws. Getting into each other's heads, getting a little chippy. Another one.
And there you see again.
Wait, stalled down.
That's a stall down count.
That doesn't seem right.
Well, Canyon will take it anyways.
And they call a timeout.
Eddie Zhao has it, and now we have a timeout here called. And I think this timeout, rather, Jonah, was called to kind of settle things down.
I agree. I think you're playing hard defense. You get that turn. You want to just regain your composure, maybe call a play. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out in a vertical stack, getting ready for their end zone here. But we'll see. Could just be a moment to catch their breath and recalibrate. You can see number 5 and number 88 kind of talking about the contact and trying to come to a resolution, which is what you want to see. You want to see the boys fighting hard out there when the point's on and then trying to come to an understanding after the point, especially if there's a lot of contact or a lot of calls.
Yeah, as you can see in our time here, we have about 22 minutes remaining in game time. And, of course, once we reach our cap, I believe it is whoever wins, whoever's in the lead is the winner, according to what I had heard at least. Yeah,
so there's it's called cap. And most tournaments now use what's called a soft cap. So if the horn goes off during the point, you add 1 to the score at the end of the point. So if the point's on, it's 10-10. One team scores, it's 11-10. You add 1 to that score, and it will be game to 12 going on. So whoever hits 12 first will win the game. But at this tournament, it's just a straight hard cap. As soon as that horn goes off, whoever's leading at the conclusion of the point wins the game.
So what we had in that last game there actually was the women's quarterfinal. It was 7-7 when the horn did sound, and the team that scored was the winner.
Yeah, exactly. And that was kind of a surprise to us in the stands. You're like, oh, wait a sec, this is not the rules we usually play with. But
myself and Justin too, it caught us by surprise up here in the booth because we thought that the soft cap would be a factor, considering that the team that would score. It would be a tie game, and then the team would obviously score one, and then you add another to that score. But no, after one team scored, it was game over.
Yeah, and I think it's partly due to just having a tight schedule and partly due to the preference of the tournament director. But it was a hard-fought game, that last one, Universe Point. Hopefully we can bring this one a little bit closer as well. But we'll see. Zhao picking up.
So Zhao will pick it up here for Canyon as they will begin in, and we are off and underway.
So Canyon's running, it's called a Hex offense. It's run by some teams in Europe,
Good
popularized by the Colombian team.
Canyon with a long heck there, and that is incomplete. And the direction that the disc was going in definitely could have played as a factor, but there was a long huck there, and it's incomplete.
There's a foul called on the play, which I'm not sure. It felt like both players were just fighting for position. There was some bumping, but there's nothing in the rule book that says you can't box your guy out. So the players kind of listening to their teammates' perspectives to see what they thought. I personally don't think that was a foul, but we'll see what conclusion they come to. I have a feeling this is going to be contested and it's going to go back.
Yeah, so as you can see, these teams are taking their time with the decisions and what decisions that they do come to. We'll take another look at the replay right here.
Yeah, I can kind of see it.
Again,
Ford Kelsey,
though.
It's kind of trailing backwards. The defender had position, tries to jump. There's some contact. Doesn't feel like a foul, but we come to a conclusion, and Canyon retained the disc.
Yeah, Zhao sends it to Haywood. Haywood trying to send that one right up ahead, too. As Gavin Ing has it, they'll try and throw it in the end zone, and that is a score. As I believe Devin O'Reilly was able to get the pass through to Finley Gray. And just like that, it's 8-2 for Canyon.
Yeah, some pretty nasty cutting in the end zone there. Just getting his defender to bite and taking 2 steps under, rifles it into his chest, and that's a pretty clean score.
Let's take a look at the replay right here.
Yeah, getting his defender. Big jump step, looking like John Randolph out there, and then comes under and keeps his feet in. Really good play from one of the better players at this tournament.
Yeah, good under throw there, and they were able to capitalize to make it 8-2 Canyon. And we'll see Wild coming out to their sidelines. But before we do carry forward, this gives us a chance to highlight our friends at VC Ultimate. VC Ultimate is Vancouver Ultimate's preferred apparel provider. VC Ultimate has been producing the world's best ultimate apparel since 1998 locally in Canada, featuring recycled materials and gender-free fits. VC puts quality and community first. Find high-quality apparel, discs, and accessories for yourself or equip your team with a custom gear at vcultimate.com.
All right. And so we've got 20 minutes left, a 6-point lead for Canyon. They've got to be thinking about the finals a little bit here. We can see on the other side, it's 6-4 in the bout between Helios and Dino. Which of those teams is going to move on to the finals is, well, anyone's guess. But we're excited to see it, and this has been a pretty good semi so far.
Yeah, the final is T-minus 2 hours and 5 minutes away. It's a 3 o'clock start time for the open final here at today's tournament. So to your point, it's going to be interesting to see how the open final shapes out and how that game plays out. Wild have the disc here as it's with Tristan Orser. Orser has it. He'll drop it back. Sends this one through to his right side as getting it is the Wild. And you see some different bodies out there for the Wild now too. Tristan Orser has it. He'll send it now to the right side with the villain Matheson. Matheson has it at the right side. He'll drop it back. as it goes for the underthrow there with the forehand. Tristan Orser gets this one back, sends it long, and the long huck is through for Brady Trinish. Trinish now sends it to the end zone. Orser catches it, and another score for the Wild.
It was great presence of mind from the Wild there to split that Canyon zone. They had one player on the left wing. They had one guy come under, one guy go deep, and the defender had to make a decision. He went deep, and so they shot it right through the middle and broke that zone wide open. After they got it through the middle, the Canyon defense was trailing the whole way, and they just punched it in. No worries. Yeah, head full of steam coming up line. Floaty shot. Defender off the back almost got there, but pulls out to avoid a dangerous play, which is commendable.
So we'll see now Canyon, how will they respond after giving up the point at the other end of the field. It's 8-3 now here for Canyon over the Wild. Now, Jonah, if you're the Wild at this point, what sort of a mindset do you have?
I think at this point in the game, there's still a faint glimmer of hope. So if I'm coaching, I'm saying, hey, we're gonna ride our guys into the ground. Basically, we're gonna try and claw our way back into this game. If they don't score another in the next point or two, I think it's you might start thinking about the bronze medal match, but just got to keep the throws clean, got to keep the guys moving. A lot of times the Wild will move the disc one or two throws, and then it'll kind of stagnate. It'll stay with the same person. They'll be looking upfield. No one's really moving, and they have to have those continuation cuts. So I'm telling my guys, look, I know it's hot. I know we're tired, but you got to move those legs. You got to cut out. You got to cut under. You got to get the disc. And barring that, I think that's the only way they're going to get back into this game. I'd also like to see some hucks. Put it up. Let's see some jump balls.
Yeah, very much so. Here is the pull. Long throw down to the other end of the field as Canyon will now begin their offensive possession. Lucas Legal sends it to his left side as the disc is now played forward. You see Canyon going for the huck. There is your wish, Jonah, to the end zone, and that's incomplete. That goes to the road.
Yeah, a little bit of a downwind from right to left on your screen.
Oh, look at the agility there by James Ford Kelsey.
He probably does hurdles on track.
Oh,
drops it though. Yeah, that's all right.
And he gets right back.
Pretty sick, actually.
James Ford Kelsey, that is incredible. Just hurtled over the barricade, the gates, of course, here at Newton Athletic Park.
Okay, well, we could talk about him. Oh, no, never mind. He got it for the other team. Right. I was going to say that was a turnover, but it was already a turnover.
So now the Wild will get this one back as they'll look to work from their own end zone and get it out of the short field, perhaps. And as you see, the defensive Canyon still pressuring them. Velen Matheson has it. Matheson goes underhook. And that one is caught here by Gabriel Russell.
Yeah, I like having Matheson on this D-line because once you get that turn, you have his steady hands kind of guiding the way as he rips it away from the Canyon player.
Yeah, Matheson has it back. He goes and swings it to his right side as we see a bit of a flick thrown to the right wing side once again.
Oh, looks like we might have had an elbow to the face as he went up for the jump there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We saw Neil Matheson collide there with Lucas Legal, I believe, and Legal is feeling it.
Yeah, he looks like he's all right. Yeah, let's see what happens here. So the around just pops up into the wind, and as he jumps, elbow comes back, hits the defender in the face. I don't think there's any foul there, just some incidental contact.
Well, I mean, yeah, there was an elbow throw, or not an elbow throw. Like I said, it was incidental contact. Well, I was watching UFC last night, and I did see a similar elbow being thrown that way as well. So, albeit that he was trying to throw the elbow. It was obviously incidental.
And Ultimate, much less of a contact sport than MMA, but hey, we like to see a little bit of body contact now and then. Boys pushing back and forth. Hopefully 3's all right. I think he's just getting checked for a concussion or any other injuries, but he's walking around. It looks like he's okay.
So here's Benson Moss. Moss has it for the Wild as he'll get it through to Velen Matheson. Matheson tried for a pass, and that won't go. We're going to see a huck here. Yes, we are. A backhanded throw. It ends up right to the end zone, and it's caught. What a catch.
Yeah, that was great.
James Ford-Kelsey. And prior to this game, Jonah, you told me he was our guy to watch, and exactly for reasons like that, a one-handed catch, and Canyon's up 9-3.
Not gonna lie, that was pretty steezy. I wasn't sure how he was gonna save this one. It looked like it caught an edge, held IO, and was pushing out of bounds, but he puts it into fifth gear and
just look at that catch.
Just barely gets it. I wonder if his foot was off the ground, but called in by the Wild defenders, and that's a goal.
So we're now at a 9-3 game. Canyon needs 4 scores to seal the deal. Well, we have about 11 minutes remaining in our time for this one.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with this Canyon side so far. Their defense, every throw that Wild are putting up is just, there's a defender right on the guy, back shoulder, in their face, trying to break up the passes. And Canyon haven't really let off this entire game. They've been playing that same high-pressure person defense consistently when they're not doing their calzone arrowhead type deal.
So we'll now see Canyon getting ready for the pull here as the Wild will receive. So now if you're the Wild, obviously down by a sizable margin here, a score would do you dividends. A 9-4 game seems much closer than 9-3, but if you are Canyon here as well, 10-3 doesn't sound too bad of a score either.
Doesn't sound bad at all. And it's turning into a bit of an upwind, downwind game. So Wild do have the added benefit of going downwind, which makes throwing just a little bit easier. It's not going to get kicked up into the air. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe a huck play coming out here. You know, Canyon is doing a good job. They've got that calzone going on, clogging up the mid space, making it difficult for Wild to work it up. Hammer over the top. Nice shot.
Corbin Young was the one that was right there, and there you see Cameron Horn. We're seeing a couple of different units out there now for the Wild as well. I believe I'm seeing some bench players out there for the Wild here on offense.
Yeah, perhaps. And there it is. Nice shot
Brody
up line.
Trinish, and that is just at the end zone. They'll try and just throw this one in for the score. Trinish is able to get it in, and the Wild score.
Yeah, Wild, I think just kind of a miscommunication. One of the players on Canyon wanted to switch, and then they both jumped on the same guy and left the Wild player alone on an island on the cone for the easy flip and the score. See it again. Nice leading up line. Almost puts him in the end zone. And then coming down, both Canyon players looking at the same guy, and he sneaks behind their ranks and gets the score.
And there you see once again our camera angle right near the end zone, as no mistake made.
Oh, bust it down, work it. Let's go.
There you see.
Yeah, he was dancing. He's grooving.
Well, it's a great day for the sport of ultimate. This is today, so the reason to celebrate the success of the sport today as well, especially with how fast it's growing here in the province of BC.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I've been playing for 11 years, 12 years now, and it is incredible to see how much it's flourished. Like, it was like starting to get big when I was in high school, but now it is incredible. So many dedicated coaches, so many high schools and junior club programs from around the province bringing in new talent, and the bar has been set so high in past years that, you know, fills my heart with joy to see all of these kids get to experience this wonderful sport on such a beautiful day as this.
So Canyon now is getting set to receive the pull as the Wild throw this one, and we talked about the wind as well. That one ends up pretty near midfield.
Yeah, we see another huck, I think.
So now Canyon will throw this one through the underhand throw. That was pretty close to the ground, but still stays in play. Zachary Bernardi sends it forward, and they'll try and feed it right to the end zone, as here's Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly has it, goes to his forehand, sends it to his right. Eddie Zhao. Zhao still with this one, goes to the forehand near the end zone, and Zach Bernardi picks it up. Bernardi now has it. He'll look for an open lane. Instead, drops it back, and that is intercepted. And there you see the Wild are running wild and free. A misplayed pass. He tried the forehand there, but I think they called a foul. Perhaps.
Absolutely mugged from behind. Maybe a tactical foul. Maybe just catching up to his to his mark.
Perhaps here is a long huck back down the other way. You called it, Jonah, and it's incomplete, but a foul call.
Yeah, called a strip. I think might be some validity to that one. Looked like the Wild player had it dead to rights clap catch, but gets pulled out of his hands at the last second. Let's see it on the replay. Matheson puts up a backhand huck. Fights for position. Oh, that is tough to say who actually got there first. I think this is, going back.
So we will stay here with the Wild as they'll get another chance at possession. And that was that was a very close play there, I will say. But in the end, I think the right verdict was reached.
Yeah, it's all about who stops rotation of the disc first, and I think that was...
Russell tried to pass it over, and that was intercepted. As you now see, Canyon's cutters letting to go to work. Eddie Zhao has it at the near sideline. There's a drop pass set back here for Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly pivots once. He'll send a pass now to the far side. Eddie Zhao has it back to Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly controls. He'll send it now to the left side. A bit of a backhanded pass with his left hand, and now a double-handed clock catch there goes through here for Devin O'Reilly. O'Reilly will send it forward to Samson Wilton Gary. Back to O'Reilly. O'Reilly, clap catch made by Eddie Zhao. It's now back here with Devin O'Reilly, and it's thrown to the end zone, and we have a score.
Yeah, that was some really, really good offense, specifically end zone offense from Canyon there. Just getting it, dink passes, give and goes, never letting Wild kind of find their rhythm on defense and picking away at them, getting inch by inch, and eventually putting it in with a nice shot to the end zone there.
Give and go. Give and go there between Devin O'Reilly and Eddie Zhao. As Canyon's now up 10-4. We have about 4 minutes remaining on our game clock here. And so, anything can still happen to your points, but I think it's pretty safe to say that Canyon is going to be playing for the gold medal here today.
Yeah.
In Surrey.
Credit to them. They have played an excellent game, an excellent tournament, and representing the North Shore well. A long storied program there, several high school teams, Handsworth, Sutherland in years past, producing a lot of really good high caliber players, and the tradition continuing with this year's iteration of Canyon.
So now we shall see. I don't think I've asked you this, but which club did you play for?
So I played for a couple of club teams. Out of high school, I played 1 year of Refinery, now defunct. I played 2 years on Blackfish, and then I played several seasons with Furious George, who are the premier men's club in Vancouver. Also played for the UBC, Go T-Birds, coached them for a couple of years, and had the privilege of representing the Canadian national team at the Under-24 Championships in 2019. So I've been around the community for a while.
Must have been quite the experience.
Yeah, it was fun. Went to Germany, and I'm sure a couple kids that are on the screen today, or on your screen today at home, will be playing for the Under-24 team at some point.
So we'll now see Wild controlling the disc here as they'll try and elect for quick movement. Brody Trinish has it. As Trinish will send it right through the middle here for Kaz Dunnett. As Dunnett is able to get the pass through. Yes, he's done it. So here is Ethan Vaujois. And like I said, we're seeing some bench players out there now for the Wild.
Yeah.
As Dunnett will send it forward, and that is turned down here by Canyon.
Yeah, if you were watching, the Wild cutters were so far downfield that you couldn't even see them on your screen. Makes it really hard to get any continuation passes upfield.
Zach Bernardi sends that one through. It's caught here by Finley Gray. Gray goes to the backhand, sends it to his left side as the disc is now with Zach Bernardi. Bernardi exchanging a couple of passes to his left and right. James Haywood has it. Haywood now going to the backhand. Here is James Haywood as a clap catch is complete. Quick pass sent to Turo Calawart. Calawart has this one as he's looking for options. Goes to the backhand. Finley Gray has to race for it, and he gets there. A great pass by Finley Gray. Sends it forward. He sends this one to Zach Bernardi. Bernardi throws it. Lateral pass now for Matthew Bevis. Bevis back to Bernardi. Bernardi goes to his forehand, gets the pass through. It ends up back now to the near side, and that goes out of play.
Really impressive work from Finley Gray at that point, kind of marshalling the O-line handler set, keeping everyone composed, and that big layout to save the play was phenomenal. He doesn't even look tired. He's locked in.
Not at all, as we're nearing the final stages of our contest here today. The open semifinal. Reminder that coming up next, we have the women's semifinal coming up, as you see.
Hand block on the mark.
Yes, a hand block there was called, and now we'll see the Wild trying to prevent Canyon from getting another score here. Gray sends it in right to the end zone, and I believe that's a good score.
Yeah, whatever happened behind that tent.
It blocked our vision.
That was awesome. I am surprised that the throw came up, and I'm even more surprised that it was completed, but that was great work. Finley Gray with the assist.
Let's take a look at the replay right here.
Oh, yeah, this is that floaty
that catch,
shot.
Like, what a catch that was by Finley Gray.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's a volleyball player. That layout for him was picture perfect.
And then, obviously, on the following sequence,
little tent cam.
They were able to capitalize and score. So Canyon is up now 11-4 as time continues to tick away.
Yeah, I think
our contest
timer's at 0, so we'll probably hear the horn any minute now.
So as we see, Canyon is getting set to throw the disc down to the other end of the field, and the Wild are set to receive, but it looks like, as we made mention, Canyon is all smiles down there, Jonah, as they know they are heading to the final.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be excited, and we can see their opponents, Dino, sitting in the stands, watching, gathering some intel before their final match in 2 hours' time.
And if it's any indication on what I've heard about both of these teams, boy, are we in for a treat for a final. Obviously, having seen this Canyon team perform, and with Dino, I haven't seen them perform here yet today, so very interested and intrigued to see how it plays out.
I think we're in for a treat this final. It's going to be high octane, high skill, high pressure.
So the Wild will get it back here, as you'll see the forehand throw is complete, and the disc comes out back to number 10, Tristan Orson. Orson looks for a pass. The marker's right up there on him. Orson, a bit of a give and go play there with Villain Matheson. As you see Orson right there, he sends it right down the middle to number 4, Neil Matheson. Matheson has it back. He'll send this one forward. A bit of an overhand huck there through, but it's intercepted. Tetsuro Taguchi picks it up. Taguchi goes to his backhand. Will now send it here to Turo Calawart. Calawart looks for a pass. He comes right on through here to Luke Belleville, and there's the horn. So as you see Tetsuro Taguchi here, the end of this play, I believe, will be the
end of the game.
End of the game. Taguchi now to the right side. He'll send it right down the middle, and that's caught here and picked off by the Wild, as they'll head right to the end zone and throw that one forward to the end zone, and that is a score.
Yeah, Canyon looking like, well, we won the game, so what's the point of playing defense here?
And so the Wild are able to get them and get the score in, which I believe will bring us to the end of our contest here today. as Canyon are through. They are headed to the final of the 2025 BC Ultimate Championships Open Division to take on Dino in what should be a surefire, incredible contest coming up at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this last game. It's been a long day for both of these teams. Hopefully they'll get some shade, get some food in themselves, and give us a good show when the game starts.
Very excited to see how the show will play out. The game will play out. The game is really a show. If we think about it, these two teams put on entertaining ultimate for us. Jonah, another privilege to be able to call another game by your side, and I'm looking forward to the next time that we get to do it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and I'll see you later.
Folks, your final score 11-4 in favor of the 11-5, I should say, in favor of Canyon over the Wild. Canyon are through to the final, while Wild will play in the bronze medal game. Now, on behalf of Jonah Lee Ash, this is Jagraj Lully saying so long from Surrey's Newton Athletic Park. This has been the BCUC live stream presented by Vancouver Ultimate. Find Ultimate programs for all ages and skill levels across Metro Vancouver at VUL.ca. Vancouver Ultimate would like to thank their preferred apparel provider, VC Ultimate. Find high-quality apparel, discs, and accessories for yourself or equip your team with custom gear at VCUltimate.com. Vancouver Ultimate would also like to thank Friction Gloves and London Pub and the team that makes this broadcast happen. Consider making a tax-deductible donation to Vancouver Ultimate to support youth programs across Metro Vancouver at VUL.ca/donate. We'll be back in just a bit as the women's semifinal is shortly set to get underway. Dino will take on Nitro in what should be an incredible matchup between those two teams. Until then, stay watching this incredible sport of Ultimate.